maybe Hot Rod is the one who is gonna really take out Barricade. I'm calling it right now. What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex here, and you're watching The Road to TF5. This is just a web series we're talking about Transformers last night. This is episode number 73, and in this episode we got big updates, big news, and it's a pretty loaded episode. So because of that, I'm going to skip the Twitter question portion of the episode. We're going to save that for the next episode. So keep on tweeting me your questions, hashtag them, The Road to TF5, and I will try to get to them in the next episode. But anyways, this is a pretty loaded episode, so let's get right to it. So, the first thing I want to do is address some things that I mentioned in the previous episode. In the previous episode, I showed you this photo, and it's a photo of a black truck, and it's got a Decepticon symbol on it. It's flipping the bird, it's got chains, it's got razor-sharp edges, and it totally looks like it could be a Decepticon. It's actually a custom. This was pointed out by Nick Leon, and he says the truck is not confirmed for the film. The owner is Ira Forbes on Instagram, though it looks totally worth for the franchise. Absolutely. It totally looks worthy for the franchise because I was totally convinced that it could be a Decepticon, and a lot of people thought it was Nemesis Prime. It's actually not. And I want to direct you to the Instagram account Wicked Intent Semi, and this is owned by Ira Forbes, and he's a truck builder. And man, you can see some pretty awesome work there. So if you want to check it out, the link is on the description box below. Moving on, another thing that I wanted to address is the article that I posted about the Norway filming of Transformers last night. I didn't know exactly when and where they were going to film. Well, we now know where they're going to film because Hunted Pie tweeted at me the places they are going to be filming in Norway is Preikestolen, Trolltunga, and the Atlantic Ocean Road. So thank you, Hunted Pie. And when they're going to be filming was brought to my attention by Elizabeth Etheridge. Thanks so much. I translated the page. It says filming Norway in autumn. So not right now. It's still summer. And they will be filming in autumn, so I imagine sometime in October. So stay tuned for that. And then another thing that I'd like to address was brought to my attention from Aaron Fixter. Thank you, Aaron, for clearing this up. The action scene that Michael Bay filmed that was shown as a video on his Instagram account is actually not an action sequence that took place in Scotland. It was a sequence that was filmed in Wales. Remember I mentioned that they were going to be filming in Wales? Well, that was that scene. That's what they filmed in Wales, and it's a big sequence. You can see the video of the behind the scenes footage on Michael Bay's Instagram account. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the toys. And well, Hasbro China is very, very optimistic about the toy sales because, well, check this out. Here's an article from China Daily USA. Transformers poised for greater success in China. So by greater success, are they trying to say it's going to be greater success from Age of Extinction or greater success than the US? Anyways, no matter what it is, they are expecting some pretty big sales, and let's see what they had to say. They said, it's been very exciting because over the last decade, the movie universe has given old fans something new and brought in a whole new generation of Transformers fans that is probably one of the biggest forces driving Transformers in China. We now expect to see explosive growth in the sales of Transformers products in China with the upcoming series of movies. So I'm excited about the new toys. We're probably going to get our first look at the toys at Toy Fair when it happens. So that's going to be pretty exciting. But not only are we getting toys and big sales in China, but keep in mind that the production obviously wants to make this film bigger than Age of Extinction. So one way they are going to do that is, of course, marketing it huge in China. Because China, of course, makes up a huge portion of their foreign box office. So because of that, what they got to do is do a little bit of China pandering. And I'm probably sure, in fact, I'm pretty sure, even though they're not filming in China, they are going to be putting lots of Chinese product placement. I'm pretty sure they're going to do that. It won't be so in your face like they did in Independence Day Resurgence, but I'm pretty sure they're going to sneak in a few Chinese products here and there. So that's just something I'm throwing out there. But anyways, so let's talk about the filming of Transformers last night. And of course they were filming in Scotland, they were filming it in Wales, and now they are filming in London. Now that's pretty exciting because they're filming in the streets of London, specifically an area called Lincoln's Inn Fields. And all this filming is all over Twitter. It's all over Instagram. And I'm going to show you a couple of Instagram accounts that showed off some photos. This is a Twitter account from Matthew Thompson. He was around for the filming. And here's a photo that he shared with the crew and all their gear. And moving on, here's a photo, a close-up photo of the little area they're filming. It's called the Lincoln's Inn Fields. And here is the Pursuit, which is a camera crane vehicle on which is of course a Porsche Cayenne, and it could do it could capture high-speed chases with the camera mounted on the top of it. So that's pretty awesome. And then he also posted a video of Bumblebee ripping it up through the streets. So pretty cool. And if you check out Matthew Thompson's Instagram account, you can see some video of Bumblebee also driving through the narrow roads of that area. And here's another account. This was posted from Sully BP, and he posted a video also of Bumblebee at Lincoln's Inn Fields. And you can check out that video. It's got, once again, Bumblebee driving through a very, very narrow road. So that is pretty cool to see that it's going to be a car chase in the narrow roads of London. And finally, this is a photo from Sawsmith Co. And this is just Michael Bay contemplating the next scene. It says here, not pictured, explosions. I'm pretty sure we're going to see explosions later on, because after all, they filmed that scene where explosions were going off in the middle of the street when they were filming in Detroit. And don't forget that Detroit was actually a city that stood in for London. So they're doing all the big explosion stuff in Detroit, but the driving scenes will be taking place in London, specifically Lincoln's Inn Fields. Alrighty, moving on. Now, you guys, of course, know that the filming is going on in London, so there's going to be a lot of photos everywhere, and ComingSoon.net actually shared a number of photos, which includes photos of not just Bumblebee, but also Mark Wahlberg and Laura Haddock. And so they're in the scene. Here's Mark Wahlberg. He's looking sharp. And then here's Bumblebee, also looking very, very sharp. And also Bumblebee's tearing it up, so you can tell that this is a high-speed car chase. Now here's the crew in the Lincoln's Inn Fields area getting ready to shoot. And here's Laura Haddock's character in a dress, and it looks like she's either coming out of or getting into Bumblebee. And she's on the passenger side seat, which means that she's involved in this chase. And this is a chase where Mark Wahlberg is in the driver's seat, Laura Haddock's character is in the passenger seat. So this makes us really wonder, what is her involvement with the story and why she's so important that she's being driven by Mark Wahlberg. What is her role in this film? Her role seems to have some sort of significance. We'll find out later on. Okay, now what's really, really exciting is, of course, the addition of new and exotic vehicles. Now, when I was going through the cast of Transformers, I'm talking about the robot cast, I was thinking that this cannot be it. There's got to be more. They got to probably add one or two more. Because we've seen a lineup of Decepticons, we've seen a lineup of Autobots, and I'm just thinking, you know, adding Hot Rod in, you know, that's cool. Adding Squeaks in, that's cool. I'm thinking there's probably room for one more. If, you know, it's not going to be an Autobot, but there's still lots of room for Decepticons. And I don't know if this is going to be an Autobot or a Decepticon, but it appears that an Aston Martin, I believe that's a DB11, silvered Aston Martin DB11 has shown up, and this is our first sighting. Now, this was, the photo was taken by Philip Osborne and is shared by Sabertron.com. You can check it out over there. And something very, very interesting is that, remember that Joe Blow plot leak? It mentioned a whole bunch of things. For example, Megatron is back. There's going to be a sidekick named Squeaks. It's going to deal with Merlin. And then there's also a character named Cogman. As a matter of fact, it actually said that there is a character named Cogman who is an Aston Martin. And it's an English, like a character with an English accent. So, could this be Cogman? And, you know, Cogman's such an odd name for a Transformers character, but this is the Transformers live-action universe, and even though Cogman is not a character that, you know, we've ever heard of from G1, Michael Bay has made up new characters. For example, there was Reedman in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Also in Revenge of the Fallen, there was Skipjack, who's actually, Rampage. And of course, there was Q, who's actually Wheeljack. And who else is there? There was Brains. And now we have Cogman. And he's an Aston Martin DB11. I believe that's a DB11. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm thinking, this looks like something that could be an Autobot. It looks like something that is not really within the lines of the Decepticons. If you notice what the Decepticons are, I mean, we range from like a heavy-duty tow truck to a police car to a motorcycle to a hippie van. A lot of the Autobots, all the Autobots are pretty much sleek vehicles. This looks like a new addition to the Autobots. I'm just thinking if Cogman is really its final name, or unless it's just a concept name. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it could be named something else in later, but this is your first look at the silver Aston Martin, which is currently called Cogman. That's just a rumor. But now here's something very, very exciting. Of course, once again, like I said, a lot of photos have been taken. And Alex Liu has an Instagram account, and he posted a bunch of photos, including photos of Bumblebee, which is really, really awesome. And then there's the soldiers who are involved. Looks like British soldiers because they're wearing a red beret. And then, here is our first look at Hot Rod as the Lamborghini Centenario. And this was captured by Alex Liu. You can check out the photo on his Instagram account. I'm going to leave you a link on the description box below. And wow, that is nuts. Our very first look at Hot Rod in vehicle form is on the streets of London. Now, there's no word on if he's going to appear in the American locations, but as far as we know right now, he appears in the London portion of the film. And maybe Hot Rod is going to also have an English accent, but something tells me, well, actually, all the evidence is pointing towards the fact that, well, Hot Rod, being Bumblebee's brother-in-arms, he is going to help out in this chase between Bumblebee and Barricade. After all, the London streets are being used for a chase scene for Bumblebee and Barricade. We've seen all the behind-the-scenes photos, and this is where Hot Rod comes in. He's a reinforcement, helps out his brother-in-arm, and maybe Hot Rod is the one who is going to really take out Barricade. I'm calling it right now. Barricade is going to be taken out by Barricade is going to be taken out by Hot Rod because Bumblebee is in lots of trouble and he can't fight him off. Barricade is going in full-on beast mode, and the fight is getting pretty intense. And Barricade is getting his revenge. Hot Rod shows up, boom, takes out Barricade. What do you guys think about that? I think that's what's going to happen because Hot Rod appears in London, all right? And he's kind of making a late appearance because I imagine that all the scenes, like in the third act of the film, take place in America, and then the second act takes place in London, and then the final act takes place in Scotland or Wales, where all the big bad guys are fighting in the in, you know, the rolling hills and the mountains of Scotland. It's going to be really, really exciting. Anyways, moving on. So, this is a pretty big deal. A lot of people have been wondering about this. Stanley Tucci is officially coming back for Transformers Last Night. I thought his character was not coming back at all. As a matter of fact, I didn't even really like his character in Transformers Age of Extinction, but Joshua Joyce is returning, and I'm just thinking about why is he back? Why is he back? I can think of a number of things. And that would be, well, the KSI technology still exists within Galvatron. So Joshua Joyce knows something. Joshua Joyce, maybe he has like some sort of knowledge that can help out the Autobots in helping to take out Galvatron. Because, you know, if they can reverse this, you know, Transformers Cybertronian technology, they can maybe once again reverse that. And maybe he has knowledge about how he can really destroy Galvatron once and for all, or turn him back into a regular Transformer instead of, you know, this nanotechnology that can form whatever it wants. So Joshua Joyce does have some significance to the story, and he's going to play a key role in providing that information to the good guys. So that's why he's back. But originally, I didn't think he was going to be back. He's back. Joshua Joyce is kind of like the Agent Simmons of the new trilogy, or rather this new direction that Transformers is going into. So I don't think Agent Simmons is going to come back. Joshua Joyce is going to be that character. All right? This is a pretty big deal, okay? Expect him to really add significance to the story. Now, I want to go back to talking about Laura Haddock's character. I believe that because Joshua Joyce is back, Laura Haddock's character is actually an assistant of Joshua Joyce. I think Laura Haddock's character is actually involved in KSI, and she is like managing maybe the London branch of KSI or something like that. So that's what I believe. That's my theory, okay? Moving on, we got to talk about filming. Of course, filming is taking place in the UK, and there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. They filmed in Scotland, they filmed in Wales, now they're filming in London. But what's going on later on? They can't be filming in London forever. I mean, like, for the rest of the shoot. So how long is that really going to go on for? Well, according to Gazette and Herald, they're doing a casting call for men in Wiltshire to feature an international blockbuster. Now, it doesn't say which film it's for, but I'm pretty sure this is for Transformers Last Night. Now, I want to give a big shout out to Jacob for passing me this link. Thank you so much, Jacob, for forwarding this to me. What they're looking for in this casting call is they're looking for anybody who are strong military-esque looking men aged between 20 to 25, clean-shaving with a strong physique. With only a couple of weeks until the deadline, everyone is encouraged to sign up as soon as possible. So, you know, be a part of this. This is your opportunity to be a part of this. And I am going to leave you the link on the description box below. But anyways, the filming takes place at the end of September. So the end of this month to the beginning of October. So it seems like 1 week. It seems like just 1 week where September ends and October begins. So that's what's going to be filming, and it's going to be happening in Wiltshire. Okay? But what happens after that? I mean, there's the Norway filming, but that could be happening later on. So apparently, between Wiltshire and Norway, there's another big scene that requires casting, and based on this other casting call, there is a casting call that is for a sequence that's taking place between October 3rd and October 14th, filming in London, England, for a big battle scene involving Saxon invaders and King Arthur's knights. That's a pretty big deal, okay? They are going to be, once again, between the 3rd and 14th of October, and they are looking for, let's see, people who are, of course, legally eligible to work in London, and, yeah. pretty much, yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Saxon invaders and King Arthur's knights. So obviously this is going to be a scene that takes place in medieval times. Perhaps it's going to be a flashback sequence, but we're going to see armies of Saxon invaders and King Arthur's knights colliding at each other. And this, of course, is going to tell you something about the significance of that medieval time period and how it connects with what's going on in the modern times. All right. And anyways, that's all the news that I have for today. I mean, Hot Rod, it finally shows up in London. There's some pretty huge things going on in London. Aston Martin confirmed to be in this film. The Joe Blow plot leak is being more and more accurate as we speak. And finally, I'm going to do Instagram shoutouts. Okay, I got 2 Instagram shoutouts that I want to do. And that is to InstaWeezy. And I just want to share with you this awesome photo of this Optimus Prime wall sticker. Holy cow. Check that out. It is huge and it looks awesome. Thank you for sharing that with me. And also to Darth McNasty, who recently just posted photos of his collection. Check out this. Is this a living room? Check out or is it a hobby room or a man cave? Check it out. I'm going to leave you a link in the description box below. It looks insane, and that's a very, very impressive collection. And I want to give birthday shoutouts. Justin Jorgensen, Officer Tony Gunk, and Matt Q. Lachand. Happy birthday to all y'all. Hope you have a good one. Thank you for being part of the Ragin Nation. And finally, Twitter shoutouts. If you follow me and you retweeted my previous episode, you get a shout out. So random shout outs go to Paco Guzman, Elijah Cameron, Zach Wong, Jorge Perez, Manav Sharma, Nathaniel Picard, CJ Sipes, Solar Flare, Mohammed Imani, and also Tesser Jaeger Fan. Alright, so thanks a lot for following and retweeting my video. And last thing I want to mention is that are you guys, I just want to make sure that you guys are getting my notifications for the latest video. You know, when I post a video, some of you guys get the notification, some of you guys don't. So I want to make sure that you guys are getting that. So why don't you head over to YouTube and go to my channel and just make sure that you're clicking the notification button. It is right where this little gear is. If you click that, it will actually ask you to turn on notifications. Once you do that, you're set and you'll always get a notification of this new video update. So make sure you do that. That way you can be first. And it's going to be really, really awesome because you don't want to miss an episode because there's a lot to be covered. And there you have it. Once again, I apologize for not having any Twitter questions. I'm going to do Twitter questions on the next episode. And man, what do you guys think about the scene? Do you think Hot Rod is going to be taking out Barricade? I think he is. And also another theory that I have is that Laura Haddock's character is involved in some way with KSI. I believe that because Joshua Joyce exists in this story, Laura Haddock has something of some knowledge or something that Mark Wahlberg could use. And I don't know what it is, but the fact that Joshua Joyce is actually in this movie really raises a whole bunch of new questions. But anyways, that's all I gotta say in this video. I appreciate every single one of you for watching these videos. Thank you so much for your support, and I'm gonna keep on making videos and updates because I'm excited about Transformers The Last Night, and I hope you guys are. And hopefully, just hopefully, Transformers The Last Night is gonna be an awesome film. It looks awesome so far, and I'm super, super excited. And there you have it. That's all I gotta say in this video. As always, if you enjoyed this video, you want to see more, show me some support by hitting that like button, subscribing to the YouTube channel, liking me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation, and also following me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. I also got Instagram. You can follow me at The Ragin Nation. I'll see you next time. Peace. Wilderness Ridge, and that was one of the more major areas where they filmed that. And if you look at any of the photos of those areas, you can tell that